Welcome to Her Lights, your home for women's sports coverage. I'm your host, Erin Foley, a stand-up comic, TV writer, and most important, an obsessed sports fan. I break down the best games, highlight the best stories, and interview the best from the world of women's sports. So put on your jerseys, stretch out your hammies, and let's do this. Hello, Her Lighters. It's Erin Foley back in the booth talking women's sports. Happy Monday. Happy March. We've made it through January and February. East Coasters, Midwesterners, I hope, well, I guess mountain range people. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the weather. I hope it turns. I know you've been getting absolutely dumped on with sleet, snow, and all the craziness. So I'm hoping March turns the tide. These are just fun cliches that I'm pulling out of my butt. Anyway, my point is I hope you get good weather, and I hope most of the brunt of the winter is over for everybody. But speaking of winter sports, hockey, women's hockey is surging. How about that transition? Let's jump into this. Here's some really fun, fantastic news. The post-Olympic surge is real for women's hockey. I'm so fired up about this. This is what I was hoping would happen. Seattle Torrent, one of the expansion teams in the PWHL, that is Professional Women's Hockey League, set a record over the weekend. 17,335 fans at the first ever Climate Pledge Arena sellout Friday night against Toronto. That is absolutely massive. A sellout. Post-Olympics, Toronto did spoil the party by winning 5-2. So congratulations, Toronto. But oh my God, what a massive crowd, crazy energy. I was watching videos online. Oh my God, just so much fun. Also, Hilary Knight, not sure when she's going to be back in action, if at all this season. Turns out she was playing on a broken, sprained, torn MCL throughout the Olympics, which makes her time on the ice even more incredible. So she is out for Seattle in the long term. Again, no Hilary Knight in Seattle still sells it out. That is just a huge, huge push, and congratulations. The other team, massive crowd, Vancouver Golden Eyes hosted Toronto. 13,264 fans at Pacific Coliseum. I mean, this is just absolutely huge numbers. And also, again, remember, Vancouver and Seattle are the expansion teams. So for them to be putting up those numbers is absolutely huge. Here's some also really fun stats. Okay, so we've got the huge crowds over the weekend in Vancouver, in Seattle. And also during February, merchandise sales increased 101% compared to the pre-Olympic trend. The PWHL's Olympians collectively grew their social followings by 38%, with more than 760,000 new followers. Website traffic on PWHL almost 6 times higher during the Olympics, with 73% of that traffic being first-time visitors. So that is just absolutely incredible. Again, this is the Erin Foley dream sequence, that everyone would get the Olympic women's hockey fever, and that it would pour over into the PWHL, which looks like it is happening. So I'm very excited. Also, if you don't know this, the PWHL does takeover tours, meaning if you don't have a hockey team in your city, look out for this. And as the dates get closer, I will announce it. I think Denver's up next, but they play big games in different host cities, so you can catch the fever. And that's all pwhl.com. So if you want to see what's coming up in the takeover tour cities, that's on pwhl.com. I can't speak today. That'll be in the show notes. But also just huge games. Like they're going to be at the Boston Garden. They're going to be at MSG. And it's just, it's really exciting what's happening. Also really fun over the weekend, Hilary Knight and Megan Keller on Saturday Night Live. That was awesome. Did we need the Hughes brothers there? Absolutely, we did not. We did not need them there. But listen, you know, women have to work twice as harder for any attention and any notoriety. So just having Knight and Keller there was huge, with Connor Story from Heated Rivalry. There, when they came out, the crowd went crazy. Did we need just an apology and we can move on from the story? Yeah, but that's not going to happen, people. So let's take a sweet victory of Knight and Keller just slinging the jokes. Quinn Hughes was just like, yeah, we haven't won in 46 years. And Knight was like, yeah, we just won 2 Olympic cycles ago. So we had a great moment. And, listen, the whole Trump phone call, it's over. It's disgusting. He's a piece of garbage. And we're just going to move on for it and just celebrate what we have. We have an amazing domestic women's hockey league. So support the PWHL. And in Canada and in the States, just incredible players. On to soccer. She Believes Cup. I watched the game yesterday. We beat Argentina 2-0. Real chippy game, real physical game. Not beautiful soccer, but I mean, listen, we have like a camp for a week and we're supposed to like gel with all these different players. So I thought we did a really good job. Two gorgeous goals. Go online. I will put it in the show notes. Lindsay Heap, top left corner box, just gorgeous. Being fed by Emma Sears, who had a great first half. And then Jaden Shaw, another beautiful goal, top right hand corner. Just really, really fun to watch. And congratulations to Lindsay Heap, 39th international goal, 12 consecutive calendar years scoring for the national team, which is huge. And if you don't know this, she is leaving Lyon, her club in France, to play for the Denver Summit, the new expansion team in the NWSL, one of the new expansion teams. So it's a homecoming for Lindsay Heaps. And if you also didn't see the announcement of her coming home, go to her Instagram, scroll down and find that story. Her parents live right outside of Denver. It's closer to her husband who's coaching in San Diego. So you'll cry. It's so heartwarming and amazing. So they're back in action this week. We've got Wednesday coming up. Our big rivalry game against Canada in the She Believes Cup, and then Saturday against Colombia. And most people think, obviously, that we win every year. We don't. Last year, we lost to Japan. So hoping to reclaim the She Believes Cup. And so we've got Canada on Wednesday and then Colombia on Saturday. So check that out. A lot of 8 players making their She Believes Cup debut. That was really fun to see some of the youngsters in there. Trinity Rodman, I think she took like a knee to her back, and we know her back is super fragile. That was really tough to watch. So she did get up. She was walking around. So I'm hoping that is not a long-term injury for her. Yeah, Argentina was real physical, which, not a bad thing, but also, again, this is the warm-up year to the World Cup, so we don't need any more injuries. So easy, Argentina. And NWSL starts in 2 weeks, so lots of soccer, lots of soccer ahead, which is very exciting. On to women's basketball, college women's basketball, one of my all-time favorite things to watch. I watched a whole bunch of games yesterday. We're gearing up for the conference tournaments, so let's talk about that. Yesterday was the last day of regular season play. A lot of good matchups. I watched Duke, North Carolina. That was super fun. North Carolina stole that game. That was an upset, but kind of fun. It was the last home game for North Carolina. It was senior night, and they upset Duke. That's always just like a really fun rivalry. And so Duke, after that game, was going to be at least guaranteed a co-share of the ACC title. Later in that day, Louisville played Notre Dame, and Notre Dame upset Louisville, which was crazy. And because Louisville is like 7 or 8 right now, they're in the top 10. So Duke takes it outright. They win the ACC this year. But North Carolina's got bragging rights to upset Duke on the last day of their season. UConn rolled. Then I also watched Vanderbilt, Tennessee. That was really fun, really competitive. Vandy kind of took over in the third quarter, but that Tennessee team has got like a lot of young talent, and they are going to be good. I also think they could pull an upset possibly in the early rounds of the tournament. So look out for them. So all what happens this week in the next course of probably next 10, 15 days, well, not 15 days, about 10 days, is all the conference tournaments will be held up to March 15th. That is Selection Sunday. So over the course of this week and next, you'll see every single tournament play, because the winner of the tournament doesn't mean if they're the 1 seed or the 15th seed going into this conference tournament, that's an automatic bid into the March Madness of it all. So it's going to be really competitive. it also establishes what seed you're going to be in the final tournament. So like the SEC, right? There's this battle between Texas and Vanderbilt. Right now, the 4 seeds going into March Madness projected will be UConn, the overall number 1 seed. UCLA will get a 1 seed, South Carolina and Texas, with Vanderbilt looking at a 2 seed. But again, here comes the conference tournament. Here comes SEC tournament. If Vanderbilt were to win the whole thing or beat Texas again, they beat them in the regular season, that could switch. Vanderbilt could take the final number 1 seed, which is huge. The difference between the 1 seed and a 2 seed in the tournament is huge, because if you are 1 seed, you don't have to play another 1 seed. So that is absolutely enormous. So it's going to be super fun. The conference tournaments are just loaded with action. Big 10, Big 12, SEC, all of them. And we'll see. So dive into that. Rounding out women's basketball, we've got Unrivaled tonight, semifinals in Barclays Center. This is going to be wild. I wish I could fly in for that game. Over the weekend, I watched, I guess would be the start of the playoffs, I guess quarterfinals, you could say, on Saturday. Just upsets, Vinyl wins and the Breeze wins. Now, these were not the teams that everybody picked to win. Ryan Howard went off. 8 3-pointers, finished with 30 points for the Vinyl. De'Erica Hamby puts in this beautiful like tip ball to win the game. So they advance, and Breeze is like the super young team with Paige Beckers and Dominique Malonga, Rakia Jackson, Cameron Brink. No one picked this team to win. I certainly did not. I have to eat my words. Malonga, 17 rebounds. Beckers adds 29 points. So they get in, just spoiling. They both play absolute spoilers. So now it's down tonight. We got Phantom, the number 1 seed, which plays number 6 Vinyl. And then we've got number 2 seed Mist playing Breeze, both tonight at Barclays Center. It's on TNT, True TV, HBO Max. And then the championship game is Wednesday night back in Miami, $600,000 prize pool on the line. So just incredible basketball action. Watch Unrivaled tonight and then start getting into the college basketball tournament play. Rounding out with this, just a feel-good story. Nikki Hiltz, who I've spoken about on this program before, she claims the 1,500-meter title at the USATF Indoor Championship on Sunday, meaning she crushed it in the mile. She ran the mile in 4 minutes, 11 seconds. Can you stand it? But here is just some really good, fun, nerdy talking points. Extended their remarkable streak, 7 consecutive U.S. 1,500-meter titles, indoor and outdoor, dating back to 2023. Also, if you don't know this, she is transgender and non-binary, just an incredible role model. She's been dealing with so much abuse and awfulness during the races from people in the crowds online, and she just continues just to channel this championship mentality on the track. So just a huge fan of theirs. Nikki Hiltz, congratulations. Okay, you've got your marching orders. Watch women's hockey, watch women's basketball, soccer, SheBelieves Cup. Also, there's a tertiary, not what I don't call tertiary sports, even though I just said it. Gymnastics, college gymnastics is heating up, getting into playoffs and competitions, college hockey. So there's all kinds of other stuff, and I'll try to blend them in more, but such good watching. I love this. Have a fantastic week. We'll be back on Thursday, either with a guest or TBD or me talking about more sports. And as always, rate, review, subscribe, leave a comment. I love reading all of them. It's so feel good. Fans, friends, family, have the best week of your life.